Hello guys, so welcome to my channel. It's been a long time since I uploaded my last video. The topic of this video is basically biometric authentication in SwiftUI. So basically in this video I'm going to show you how to enable biometric authentication for your app. Biometric authentication, as you must have used in various apps. So basically when you sign in using other methods like sign in like Google, LinkedIn or Apple, there are many sign-in providers, right? So basically after sign-in you want the user to be logging in conveniently and also making sure that the user is authentic. So basically for that purposes we use biometric authentication. So for this video I have already created a project, a Swift UI project, and as you can see I have named the project biometric auth tutorial, and this is the basic boilerplate code for when I create the project. So let's first create the UI, basic UI. So I'm just going to show you how to enable that biometric authentication. So for that, first of all, let's start with, let me clear this first and then we can go ahead. Okay, so vstack is fine. So first what we'll do, we will add a toggle, and let's name it enable biometrics. Okay, and is on, and we will be using a binding. Let's name it is biometrics enabled. Okay, and let's create a state variable for this, add state, and since this is a binding we have to create a state variable, add state private var each biometrics enabled equals to false. By default we are setting it as false. Okay, so now there is a toggle and we want to trigger the on change of this toggle. So when this value biometrics enabled is changed off, whenever this is changed, I want to perform some action. So this is the old value and new value. Basically currently I don't need old value, so I will just use this underscore, and let's name the new value as like enabled. Okay, so basically whenever this value is changed, so I want if it is true, if enabled, we don't need that, if enabled, let's do something. For now we are just, let's just say enable biometrics. Okay, cool. So this is what currently it looks like. Let's do one more thing. Let's wrap it in a navigation stack so that we can use navigation properties as well. Navigation stack. Okay, all right. Okay, and wrap it and preview as well, navigation stack. Okay, cool. Right now let's do one thing. This vstack is a little too much on the edge, so let's add a padding. Okay, what do you want padding? We want a padding, let's say padding of horizontal only, right? Yep, now it looks cool. And let's do one more thing. Let's do one more thing. What should we do? Yes, we should add a spacer here. Okay, no, not here, I guess it's wrong. Command X, we should place it in behind here. Okay, and one more thing we have to do dot for title. Let's say we set it as bioauthentication, biometric auth. Okay, fine. And now let's add some padding to this toggle as well, dot vertical, and let's create a button. Let's name it authenticate with biometrics. Okay, and create an action for this. Create action. So basically it will authenticate the user, so we will just write authenticate the user. Okay, and now what can we do? We can do some styling as well. So basically currently it is enabled for all state, but it will not do anything. So what we can do is we can do some conditioning on this button. Basically we can say that it is disabled and it is based on, so if the biometrics is not enabled, this button will be disabled state. Okay, and let's do the button style. Let's say we can do it border prominent. Yeah, this looks fine. Okay, and let's also add some padding, not vertical. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so I think our basic UI is ready. Okay, now we want the authentication to work. So what we can do is I will create a new file here, create new file from template, and I will use a Swift file, and let's name it biometric authentication manager. Let's create it. So I don't basically need, for this tutorial I may not need this full file, but I'm just creating it so that you can know how to enable it in your system. Okay, so let's go to biometric authentication manager, and let me do this. Let me create a class biometric authentication manager, and this will be a singleton class, static let shared, and I assume that you know what is a singleton class. Biometric authentication manager, this will be a private, it will be initialized using private initializer. Okay, and currently I will only create two functions. First one will be whether this device supports the authentication. So basically can use biometrics will be our function. Yes, so it will return a boolean. Okay, and we have to provide the context, so we will say let context equals to LA context, and we have to provide error as well, so where error equals to NS error, and it is already auto completing. So basically context array context provide exposes a function context.can evaluate policy, and before that we have to import local authentication. Okay, so I will do this again so that you can understand what kind of variable it can accept. So basically I can do context.can evaluate policy, basically can authenticate. So what kind of policy we want to evaluate? So basically we want to evaluate whether the device owner can authenticate with biometrics. Okay, so this is our policy, and error will be, we will just pass the error. Okay, and another function I will create, this one will be authenticate user. So there will be a completion we will be doing, and this will be a escaping function, so it will have a boolean and an error. Okay, and it will return nothing, so it will be void. And let's define this function. So we have to again do context, let context equals to LA context, and now we can do context dot evaluate policy. So basically this will be our first step, and this will be our final authentication step. So what kind of policy we want to add? So same policy, device owner authentication with biometrics, and localized region. We have to provide what will be the text for this policy. So basically we can just say authenticate with face ID or touch ID. Just for your reference, so basically newer iOS models, basically there is only face ID, but There is also Touch ID in the old iPhone models, so basically that is why I've also added Touch ID. And now there will be a completion, so it will be either success or it will end with error. Okay, so basically what we want to do, we want to dispatch on the main thread, and this will be an async function because we don't want to block our thread. Okay, and we will just call our completion handler. I'm also assuming that you know what is completion handler. Okay, yes, so our biometric authentication manager is now ready, and now we can basically use this function for our tutorial. So let's go to content view. Okay, so what we are going to do here, we will write the full-fledged function here. So first of all, we will do something when this is enabled. Okay, so this one is working, it will enable this button, but it will not do anything currently. So basically what we will do, we will create a function enable biometrics. So basically if it is enabled, we will just enable the biometrics. Okay, so enable biometrics, so we will just create a function for enabling biometrics, func enable biometrics. So what we will do, we will enable the biometrics here. Okay, so one thing is done, we will enable the biometrics based on this. And now what we want to do, so basically after enabling, when I click on this button, so basically our authentication should work. So basically it should scan my face or Touch ID. Okay, so basically this is what I will have to do in this action here. Okay, so first of all, let me import that singleton class. So what we can do, let auth manager equals to biometric authentication manager dot shared. So now we can do auth manager dot authenticate. So as we have defined this, the completion handler, so basically there will be a boolean and error. So let's say it will be a success, and this will be an error. Okay, so what we want to do, if success, we want to do something. Let's say if it is success, we want to navigate to some different screen, or you want to perform some action. Okay, and if it is error, perform error action, perform action on error. Okay, so this one is done. And now what we want to do, so we have to write this enable biometric function as well. Okay, so what we have to do, basically here I will say if auth manager dot can use biometrics. Okay, so there is a typo in this. First let me correct this, is biometrics. Okay, if it is true, we will set biometric enabled to true. Okay, otherwise what we will do, we will say is biometric enabled to false, and do something, enable it from your settings, enable it in your settings. Fine, this is fine. Okay, so basically this should work basically, but we want to do some customizations here. So we want to handle the error case as well. Let's say when this there is no biometric authentication on this device, So we want to do something, we want to create an alert as well, is presented, and it will have some actions. What is it? What we want to do, let's go with this one. So title key will be enable face ID / touch ID. Okay, is presented. So basically we will present based on the basis of this based on some binding. Okay, so let me create a binding. We'll create a state variable for this. At state private var so alert equals to false. Okay, and this will be so alert. Actions will be what we want to do. So actions will be there will be two buttons. First button will have a title and action as well. Where is this action? Okay, title and action. So title will be go to settings. Okay, and what will be the action? So basically we will redirect the user to the settings of this app. Okay, so we will create one settings URL. We will say if let settings URL equals to URL, and it will be string. So UI application dot open settings URL string. So okay, so we have unwrapped this settings URL, and now we just have to open this URL dot open dot shared dot open and this settings URL. Got it? Okay, and we will create one cancel button as well. So let's name it cancel, and the action will be so alert. So basically this will dismiss the alert only. There is nothing we have to do here. So alert to false. Okay, so and let's add one more thing. Let's add the role of this button to be cancel, so that it appears in different, so that it appears different than this one from this button. Okay, so I have added it inside this button. Okay, sorry, my bad. It will be created here. Okay, fine. This looks good. And one more thing, we can do a message that will be displayed to use. So this will be the message that is displayed on this alert. To use biometrics, please go to settings and enable biometrics for this app. Okay, and basically this enable biometrics will be true. Okay, and if by chance this is not done, so basically what we have to do basically here, if it cannot use biometrics, first of all it will be turned to false. And we can do one more thing, we can show this alert as well. Okay, so basically I'm not doing this, I'm not covering in this lecture, in this video as well. So I think this is it. Yeah, so basically on success what you want to do, and in error what you want to do. So basically if it is success, is a simple scenario. So basically you will redirect user to some different screen and store this data somewhere. So basically I'm not showing how to store it. Basically you can use two types of storage, or you can either use user defaults or you can use the keychain. So it will just complicate this video. It is a simple video of biometric authentication, so we would like to keep focus on that only. And error can be of different types. I just want to explain some kind of errors. So error can be, we want to handle different kind of errors. So let's say if let error equals to, first extract the error, and we will add a switch case and switch on error dot code. It will not work. Basically I just forgot, because this error should be of type LA error. Okay, and we have to import local authentication. Okay, fine. So now we can see what kind of error is there. So basically there are n number of errors, and as you hover over it, you can see what kind of errors are there. So basically app cancelled authentication, or authentication failed, or invalid context. So basically there are n number of errors, and basically to make your app robust, you have to handle this kind of errors. For now I am just going with default. Okay, may not be case. I'll just say print, and I will just print it, authentication failed. Okay, so let's do this. So this is what the final code looks like. Let me run it on a simulator. Basically we can't use biometric authentication on a simulator because there is no camera available on the simulator. But let's see what we can do here. It's taking longer than expected. Okay, so my app is launched now, and you can see here there is a toggle button and there is a button for authenticating. So let's see if it works here. What happened? Is there something wrong in my code? Why am I not able to enable it? Right, I am not able to enable it. Okay, let me see. Okay, so basically what is happening, since in simulator I can't use biometrics, so basically whenever I try to switch it on, it's basically not working because I am by default setting it to false. Okay, so basically what you can do, you can verify it on a physical device. It should work on your physical device, and basically what kind of behavior you want, on success, on error, you can customize it, and this is the basic flow. Okay, so I think we are done with this video, and yep. Okay, so I think we are done with this video. Thank you very much.